guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. What we're actually going to be doing in this video is something that I have been looking forward to doing for a very long time, and I'm finally getting around to it, and that is the yellow CSL daytime running lights. It is a look that I absolutely love. It's really funny, back when I had my E46 M3, nobody was really doing yellow angel eyes is what they called them at the time. The popular brands at the time were EAS, European Auto Source, and I believe the other ones were Morimoto. I forget if it was Morimoto or not, but either way, I tried both of them and I loved them, but there was actually another company out there that offered yellow. They were really cool. I only ran them for a very, very short while, but I'll throw up a picture for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But it was something that I loved. It's very, very motorsport. It looks fantastic. And then when I saw that the G80, the CSL version, they actually started doing yellow daytime running lights. They have become very, very popular lately. Everybody's pretty much doing it. It was something that I've always wanted to do. And after doing it on my buddy's G80 M3, you actually saw me do a whole video on that, doing the whole install process. It kind of sealed the deal for me because I absolutely loved how it looked. And I was like, once I get my F80, I'm 100% going to do that. So I picked up the Motorsport Plus CSL daytime running lights, the yellow version, and we're going to install them tonight. Really, really simple. It's actually easier to do it on the F chassis, on the F80, F82, than the G80. The G80, there's actually two different heat sinks. There's one on the top of the headlight and then one behind the headlight, so you need to take off a wheel. On the F80, it's much more simpler. All the boards and everything are just in this one heat sink. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to show you the full install, step by step, how to get this done and how cool it looks, and also how it can be completely reverted back to white if you wanted to go that route. This is not a permanent modification. I know a lot of people are hesitant on doing that because they're afraid they're not going to be able to go back to the white, but you most certainly can if you wanted to. So let's go ahead, let's start on the install and getting the yellow daytime running lights knocked out. All right, so really simple. All we're actually going to be using is a T20 Torx bit. So I got a dedicated T20 screwdriver, and we're going to remove these 3 screws. So 1, 2, and 3. Remove those, and this comes up, and then there's a little plug inside. Unplug that, and that is it. We're going to do that first, take this off the actual headlight, go over to the actual workbench, and I'll show you what the next step is. All right, so we actually got the heatsink off, but first I wanted to mention, just throw a clean towel over the top of the headlight because you don't want anything falling in the headlight while it's open. All right, so we got the heatsink on the workbench, and this is what we're looking at. So we're actually going to be replacing that board and that board. Obviously, there's a bigger one and a larger one, so you can't mess up which one goes where. But here is what you get. They actually include a QR code, so you can scan that and see the instructions. But as you can see, you get a small and a large for both sides. And it also comes with special thermal adhesive. When they first started introducing these to people and you were able to buy them, you actually had to go out and get your own thermal paste. I didn't like that idea because a lot of people were using JB Weld, which does work, but it doesn't hold up to heat over time. These do get pretty warm. That is why they are in a heat sink, so it can dissipate the heat properly. So using JB Weld, again, it will hold, but it could fail over time, and then these can fall off, which is not the end of the world, but you want to use the proper adhesive. So I'm really happy they started supplying that, and it's already on the back of the boards, so you don't have to mess with anything, go out to your hardware store and get anything specific. It's all ready to go here. So what we're actually going to do is heat these up with the heat gun a little bit, and then we're going to use a small flathead and kind of pry these off. This is pretty strong thermal adhesive back here, so it's going to take a little bit of pressure. It's going to feel like you're going to break them, but I assure you they will pop off once it gets enough heat and they get a little loose. So let's go ahead, let's pop these off, and I'll show you the next step. All right, so I have my heat gun right here. I'm just going to heat up the backs of them. So you don't want to actually heat up the board. I mean, you can, but you don't want to apply too much heat. You just want to soften up the actual adhesive on the back. So I'm going to go from the back, and then I'm going to use a small flathead, get behind there and kind of twist. Then once I get some room in there, I'm going to use a larger flathead, kind of get down more, and then kind of twist it so it pops off. That's exactly how I was able to get off the ones when I did the G80. So I'm hoping this is a very, very similar process and nothing breaks, and we can get these off cleanly. So let me go ahead, heat them up, then we can pop them off. Well, I just realized I wasn't recording, but I was able to pop it off. You guys saw me heat it up a little bit, and then I used the small screwdriver and a small hammer just to kind of tap it to get it into the corner. I started at the top right here, and then I was able to get a little gap right there, and then once that was opened, put the larger screwdriver in, twisted it, and it popped right off. I'll get the other one on camera so you guys can see the whole process, but here we go. We're gonna actually scrape off the extra adhesive on here with a razor blade, but let's get this one off, and then we can clean everything up. All right, so we got both of the stock white boards off. So now what we need to do is actually scrape off the old adhesive. I'm just gonna use a razor blade and scrape off as much as I can. You don't have to get it perfect, but you just wanna get the majority of it off like that. So you have a nice area for the new adhesive to stick. All right, so we got everything cleaned up. It looks great. There's no residual adhesive on there. So now we're actually going to install the new boards. Now, if we open this up, you'll see again that there's two different sizes. Obviously, the small one goes on this side, the large one goes on this side, but there is a certain orientation that you need to put them just because the plugs are on certain sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly which way to put it. All right, so here they are side by side, just so you guys can see the difference. This is the stock white, this is the Motorsport Plus yellow. So as you can tell, the actual LEDs are yellow, whereas this one is I guess yellow, but not as yellow. So it's easy to tell which one's different. Also, the board color is a little bit different. These are more white, where these are a little bit more gray. So it's kind of hard to mix them up. But there is a specific orientation of where these need to be. The LED actually needs to be sitting like that. So make sure you don't put them in that way because you actually want the LEDs facing up. So you want the orientation just like that. So the plug is on the outside. So there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel off the adhesive for each one of them, stick them on there, and then we can reinstall it. So the quick note, those little notches, they go in those little notches right there, so it's gonna fall right into place perfectly. Now obviously when you're putting that on, you don't want to push down too hard because you don't want to damage any of the, you don't want to damage the board or the circuits or the lights or anything. So as they heat up, it'll kind of adhere better, but just push it on the corners, kind of go around it. Now this side's a little bit different. It doesn't matter which way you actually put it in terms of the LED, because as you can see, they're both in the middle, so you can't screw that one up. You just want the socket facing this way so you can actually plug it in. So let me go ahead and put this one on. All right, so installed, everything is good. I may just throw the heat gun on a little bit on the back to make sure it's stuck on there very, very well. And then we can go back over to the car, plug each one of them in, screw it down with the supplied OEM screws, and we can check it out. All right, so we got the passenger side done. I haven't tried it yet, so let me see what this looks like. I'm just gonna unlock the car and see what happens. So let's unlock it. Oh my God. That is so sick. Sorry, the lights turned on too, so I think those will turn off in a second. There we go. Oh my God. That looks so good. Holy crap. Oh, here's the white just for comparison. White still looks very good, but there's no question that the yellow looks incredible. Oh my God, look how good that looks. I absolutely love it. Oh, all right, I'm gonna go ahead, knock this side out. I'm just gonna do like a time lapse on it since I explained it already on that side. But man, oh man, that looks incredible. Alright guys, so we are finished up with the install and I am in absolute love with these DRLs. I think they are incredibly cool and it really just gives some aggression to the front end. I mean, the F80 M3 front end is super aggressive to begin with, but having these yellow daytime running lights is just incredible. It makes it look so mean. I cannot wait to get these on the KWs to lower this thing and make it look even better. Among the other things that I still have laying around for the car. But I am so happy with this. This was honestly like 15-20 minutes of work to get this done, and you get an incredible look. This is also reversible, as I mentioned, so if you want to go back to the white, you certainly can. Another quick suggestion that I will say is that some people actually get a second set of heat sinks. So they have one with the white ones and other ones with the yellow ones, so they can swap back and forth. I didn't get a second set, but I could always pick them up later and throw them on if I want to, so I can keep these as the yellow ones. But either way, I am going to be rocking these yellow MS Plus yellow daytime running lights for a long time because I am in absolute love with these. On film, you guys see it kind of flickering. That's not happening in person, so I just want to point that out. That's just because of the frequencies that the camera can't capture since these are LEDs. Sometimes that happens on camera with certain LEDs. So before we wrap this video up, I'm going to do a quick little modification on the rear doors. You guys saw me install these, which are the BMW projectors. So they project the little M logo on the ground. Kind of hard to see right now because the lights are on. And after I installed the fronts, I opened up the rears. I was like, wait, does the rear have lights too? And sure enough, they do. So I got a second set of the BMW, the OEM BMW projectors, along with the M Performance slides as well. I ended up using the side ones here. So I'm going to install them really quick. I did a video on the install of these on how to do it, so I'm just gonna breeze through this and get them installed on the car. It was bothering me that I didn't have them on the rears, so I was like, you know what, I need to get another set. A little expensive for what they are. They're about like 170 bucks for both of these. It was one of those things that was keeping me up at night knowing I only had them on the front, so I decided to pick them up for the rear. So let me go ahead and get this knocked out and then we can wrap the video up. So we finished up with the door projectors. Again, I have them in the front here. If we open it up, you can kind of see it on the ground there. They're super bright when it's dark and there's no light, but I also got them on the rears now as well. Both sides, obviously. Now I'm able to sleep at night knowing I have both the exact same lights. But again, I know I said this like 100 times. I am so happy with the daytime running lights. I think it turned out awesome. Super easy install. They're not too expensive. They're around 300 bucks or so to get this done. They also have them for many, many different generations. Current generation F80, they have it for the E90X as well. They also have it for all F series. Buddy actually has a wagon, a diesel wagon, F chassis, and he's gonna do it to his. So it's just kind of going across the board. They also have it from Supras. They have it for the new M2. They have it for pretty much everything. So I'm a huge lighting nut if you guys didn't know. So it's really, really cool to see the progressiveness of LEDs and lighting in general. It's become such a popular thing to do. I have always been about lighting ever since the early days, ever since I started modifying cars many, many, many years ago. And it's really cool to see how far things have gone and how much better technology has gotten. So that is going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the install of the yellow daytime running lights. Everything is really coming together and I couldn't be happier. This car is absolutely amazing and I'm enjoying every single second of it. So if you guys have any questions at all about the daytime running lights, the door projectors, or anything else on the M3, please let me know in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.